Have you ever noticed how your cousin seems to have your grandfather's nose, or maybe your aunt's unmistakable smile? Sometimes it's the shape of your eyes, the way you laugh, or even the dimples on your cheeks that remind you of someone else in your family. Or perhaps you and your mom both have the same curly hair that's impossible to tame. Or you share a quirky trait with a sibling that makes everyone in the family smile. That's heredity in action. Those unique traits and features are passed down from one generation to the next, creating a living tapestry of family resemblance. But heredity isn't just about how we look. Some health conditions, like certain allergies, blood types, or even risks for diseases, can travel through families too. Knowing your family's health history can be just as important as knowing who you resemble. Genetics is the science that helps us trace these patterns, almost like detectives piecing together clues in a family mystery. Scientists use powerful tools to study how traits and conditions are inherited. One of those tools is a special kind of family tree called a pedigree chart. By drawing this chart, we can track how traits and health conditions move through generations, revealing connections we might not see at first glance. This chart isn't just a list of names and dates. It's a visual map that shows who in your family has a certain trait and how it's been inherited over time. It can highlight patterns that help us understand our genetic story. Doctors and scientists use pedigree charts to predict the chances of a trait or condition appearing in future children, helping families make informed decisions about their health. Learning to read these charts unlocks fascinating secrets about your health, your family's past, and even your future. It's like having a roadmap to your genetic heritage. Understanding your family tree is a powerful way to discover where you come from, what makes you unique, and what you might pass on to the next generation. So, get ready to explore the fascinating world of pedigree analysis, where your family's story meets the science of genetics. Let's dive in and uncover the secrets hidden in your family tree. So what's a pedigree chart? Think of it as a family tree with a scientific twist. It tracks a specific trait, like eye color or a genetic disease, across generations. Pedigree charts reveal patterns. Does a trait appear every generation or does it skip? Does it affect more boys or girls? Doctors and genetic counselors use these charts to estimate the risk of passing on certain conditions. For families planning children, pedigrees help predict the chances of inheriting a trait. They turn complex genetic information into a clear, visual story. By learning to read pedigrees, you're learning the language of heredity. It's a powerful tool for understanding your health and your family's genetic journey. Let's see how these charts work. To read a pedigree chart, you need to know the symbols. These symbols are like a special language that helps us understand family relationships and how traits are passed down through generations. Learning to recognize them is the first step in unlocking the secrets hidden in a family tree. Squares are used to represent males, while circles stand for females. If you see a diamond, it means the sex of that individual is unknown or unspecified. These simple shapes make it easy to quickly identify the gender of each person in the chart, even at a glance. A horizontal line connects two parents, showing a partnership or marriage. From this line, a vertical line drops down to their children, who are arranged from left to right in order of birth. This structure helps you see not just who is related, but also the order in which siblings were born. Each row on the pedigree chart represents a new generation, and these generations are usually labeled with Roman numerals, like I2 or 3. This makes it easy to track how traits move from grandparents to parents to children, and so on. If someone has the trait or condition being studied, their symbol is shaded in. If the symbol is left unshaded, it means that person does not have the trait. This visual cue allows you to spot patterns of inheritance quickly. Carriers, people who have the gene but do not show the trait, are shown with half-shaded symbols or sometimes a small dot inside the shape. This is especially important for understanding recessive genetic conditions where someone can carry a gene without being affected themselves. By following the pattern of shaded, half-shaded, and unshaded shapes, you can trace how a trait or genetic condition moves through a family. This helps scientists and doctors predict the likelihood of traits appearing in future generations. The pattern of connections and shading reveals the story of inheritance. It shows not just who is affected, but how traits are passed down, skipped, or carried silently from one generation to the next. Once you know the symbols and how to read the lines, you're ready to decode any pedigree chart. With practice, you'll be able to spot patterns and make predictions just like a geneticist. Let's practice reading one together. Optional. Show a simple example on screen. Try identifying the symbols and relationships yourself as we go through it. With these basics, you're set to become a genetic detective. You'll be able to uncover family secrets, understand inheritance, and even help others interpret their own family trees. Let's look at some real inheritance patterns and see what stories they reveal about families and genetics. First up, autosomal dominant inheritance. Autosomal means the gene is on a non-sex chromosome. Dominant means you only need one copy to show the trait. If a parent has the trait, each child has a 50% chance of inheriting it. The key clue? The trait appears in every generation, no skipping. Both males and females are affected equally. Huntington's disease is a classic example. If one parent has the gene, the trait shows up in every generation. On a pedigree, you'll see shaded symbols in a continuous line down the chart. Ask, does the trait show up every generation? Are both sexes affected? If yes, it's likely autosomal dominant. This pattern is easy to spot because the trait never hides. Look for the unbroken chain. Optional, show a sample pedigree. That's autosomal dominant inheritance, clear, direct, and always visible. Next, let's see what happens when traits hide. Now, autosomal recessive inheritance, the generation skipper. Here, you need 2 copies of the altered gene to show the trait. Carriers have 1 copy but don't show symptoms. The big clue: the trait can skip generations, appearing in siblings but not their parents. Cystic fibrosis is a classic example. Parents are usually healthy carriers, but their child can have the disease if both pass on the gene. On a pedigree, you'll see affected children born to unaffected parents. Both males and females are affected equally. If a rare trait pops up in siblings but not parents, think recessive. Look for the hidden pattern. Optional, show a sample pedigree. That's autosomal recessive inheritance. Traits hiding until the right combination appears. Now, let's talk about X-linked recessive inheritance, a pattern involving the X chromosome. Males have 1 X and 1 Y. Females have 2 X. If a male inherits an altered gene on his X, he'll show the trait, no backup. Females need 2 altered X's to show the trait, so it's much rarer in girls. The trait often passes from a carrier mother to her sons. Affected fathers can't pass the trait to sons, but all their daughters become carriers. Hemophilia is a famous example, mostly affecting males, passed through carrier females. On a pedigree, you'll see mostly shaded squares, males, and the trait skipping generations via carrier daughters. If more males are affected and the trait jumps from grandfather to grandson, it's X-linked recessive. Optional, show a sample pedigree. That's the signature of X-linked recessive inheritance. So why does pedigree analysis matter? It's more than just a chart or a family tree. It's a window into your genetic past and a guide for your future. By mapping out how traits and conditions are passed down, pedigree analysis helps us see the bigger picture of our health. It's a vital tool in genetics and medicine, helping families and doctors understand inherited conditions. With this knowledge, families can prepare for potential health challenges, and doctors can offer more personalized care. Pedigree charts guide genetic counseling, helping people assess their risks and make informed choices. They allow counselors to explain complex genetic information in a way that's easy to understand, so families can make decisions with confidence. For example, someone with a family history of a genetic disorder can learn their chances of passing it on. This knowledge can influence important life decisions, from planning a family to choosing the right health screenings. Scientists use pedigrees to discover new genetic diseases and find the genes responsible. These discoveries can lead to new treatments, better prevention strategies, and even cures for conditions that once seemed mysterious. Understanding your family's genetic story empowers you to take charge of your health. You can make lifestyle changes, seek early interventions, and share valuable information with loved ones. Pedigrees connect you to your ancestors and reveal patterns that shape your future. They remind us that our health is a shared journey, influenced by generations before us and impacting those who come after. By learning this skill, you're using science to make better decisions for yourself and your family. It's a way to turn information into action and uncertainty into empowerment. Knowledge is power. Use it to build a healthier future. Every step you take to understand your genetic story is a step toward a brighter, healthier tomorrow. Thanks for joining us on this journey through your genetic story. We hope you feel inspired to explore your own family's health history and share what you learn. Optional. Encourage viewers to explore their own family history. Start a conversation with your relatives, gather stories, and see what you can discover together. Science is cool, especially when it's about you. Your story is unique, and understanding it can make a real difference in your life.